Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and today I want to talk about Diddy. Diddy, there's an update on the whole Diddy case, and I've also been thinking about this a little bit in terms of what this means economically, as well as the delusion that money can cause to put us in crazy situations. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a great conversation. So get comfortable, hit the thumbs up button, buckle up your seatbelt. We're going to get started on drboycetv.com right now.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. And I want to say hello to everybody that's in here. Give me a guess if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me okay. And also shout out the city you're from. Hey, Mojo, how are you? And also don't forget this podcast is on Spotify and Apple. So if you look up my name on Spotify and Apple, you will find me there. Now, let's jump into the topic. Today, I wanted to dig a little bit deeper into this whole thing with Diddy. As you know, Diddy is is really going through it. He's really under a lot of pressure right now. His homes have been raided. We know about this. And also a lot of other things have happened that have really made me think. And I thought about a couple of things. First off, from a financial standpoint, you guys know I'm a finance professor. And from a financial standpoint, I wonder how Diddy is kind of handling all this controversy. Diddy has lost a lot of his most lucrative partnerships. Diddy's brand has become toxic. His personal brand has. Addition to that, there are lots of legal fees that they come up with this kind of thing and settlements and all this sort of thing. So he's going to really have some financial pressure on himself. I don't know how liquid he was. I know that from what I was gauging from the outside of his deal with Diego, that it wasn't really a matter of him having a lot of excess cash. I was really surprised by how little he was willing to invest in the promotion of his vodka brand. Also, I think with Diddy, I think long term, I'm wondering how how protected his family legacy is, economically speaking. That's one quick thought. Now, here's the latest development. So apparently, the woman who was allegedly shot by Diddy years ago, the sister, I'm going to pull up her name in a minute, but she was, sorry, scratch that. I said shot by Diddy. Let me change that. She claims she was shot by Diddy. I want to make sure I say that correctly. Allegedly, her name is Natanya Rubin. So Natanya Rubin is one of the victims in that nightclub shooting in 1999. Give me a guess if you remember that nightclub shooting, if you remember what happened allegedly with Diddy. J-Lo was there. The rapper Shine was there, and Shine actually took the heat of that shooting and ended up getting deported. And this lady's name is Natanya Rubin. She's one of 3 people that were hurt in the incident. She wants the bullet fragments taken out of her. Natanya Rubin, one of 3 people hurt in the 1999 incident, wants the bullet fragments taken out of her face for ballistics evidence because she wants the case reopened. So this woman, this 53-year-old woman, says, "Get in my face and pull out the bullet fragments so that we can prosecute Diddy for shooting me." She says, "I'm willing to have a doctor remove a part of the 9mm bullet in my face so that they can use it as evidence if need be for this trial, and it may cost me my life." So this Black woman is willing to risk her life in order to prove that Diddy was the shooter in that nightclub incident. I don't know if y'all agree with me, but I think this is kind of heavy. This is a big deal. It sounds like she's really, really serious, and she's deeply committed to proving that Diddy was one of the shooters, or if not, or I guess the shooter in that incident, that other people took the hit for her. I don't know if she was ever offered any kind of financial compensation. My heart goes out to her. I mean, this just sounds terrible. I cannot imagine living the rest of my life with bullet fragments in your face. Just the thought of getting through the airport alone with bullet fragments in your face. I mean, you can only imagine what this poor lady has gone through. And I'm gonna tell you, it makes me really sad. I remember when I was, I grew up, I came of age in the 90s. And I remember in the 90s, I remember how many friends I knew who got shot at the club, shot somebody at the club, or went to prison over something that happened at the club. And so in my mind, I remember thinking going to the club is just not something that's safe to do. And I think that kind of happened mostly like when hip hop kind of went violent. When hip hop kind of became this space of gangsters and killers, and we started glorifying thuggish behavior, we started looking up to people because they were willing to go kill another black person, which I think was incredibly unhealthy, incredibly toxic for the community. Well, this young lady, unfortunately, Natanya, is an individual who says that she was victimized by this thug culture, that she was actually exploited by this, and I really find it very interesting that she's willing to put her life on the line to have the bullet fragments from that shooting pulled out of her face just to prove that Diddy did this. Now I don't know if y'all agree, but I think this is a big problem for Diddy. I think what's interesting is that, if you remember, Diddy used to say more money, more problems, right? So he always used to say that. And I think that's an interesting financial lesson, and I don't disagree. I do think that when you have lots of money, you do have lots of problems. And what's fascinating to me about this is that this is just one of a few problems that Diddy has. This is not his biggest problem or his most prominent problem. His house getting raided is another big problem. And then also there's a lot of weird stuff that sort of has come out of that whole conversation. So for example, one thing I've always been wondering, this is just me, black man to black man, in terms of thinking about Diddy, is why hasn't there been an arrest warrant issued? Why has nobody been arrested? Now, a lot of us may say that him not being arrested means that he didn't do anything. They don't have anything on him. I kind of look at it a little bit different. It could be the case that he's not arrested because maybe he's working for the feds. Again, I'm not saying that he's doing this or not, but I think Kanye, who tends to speak a lot, Kanye actually said that he was working for the feds. Now, here's what gives some credibility to what Kanye is saying. What gives credibility to what Kanye is saying is that I find it very odd when a person has been accused of so many horrible crimes. They've been in so many crazy situations, going all the way back to Tupac. Diddy has been in the center of a whole lot of shit. He's been accused of a whole lot of stuff. And some people have always wondered, how in the hell is it that this guy can be accused of so many different things and always escape unscathed? How can he be the Teflon Don, so to speak, and not really be held accountable for anything that he allegedly did? Now, again, I'm not sure if this is true or not. I'm not here to necessarily speculate on that. I can just lay out possibilities, but I do know that Freeway Ricky Ross, who's the original Rick Ross, not the fat guy who's the mediocre rapper. I'm talking about the original Rick Ross. I know Ricky Ross. My wife does too. And one thing that Rick Ross told me that I thought was really interesting was he said that when he got arrested for selling dope, he said that his Colombian connect, who brought billions of dollars of dope into the country unscathed, he got about 18 months in prison. Now, I'm trying to figure out, how can a guy, there are guys that are doing 30 years in prison for selling weed. There are people that had a couple ounces in the 90s or even the 80s who are still locked up. I know people that were slinging, indirectly. Fortunately, I didn't have to be right in the culture, but a lot of us knew people that were slinging. I know guys who were slinging small amounts of dope who have been in prison since 1994, since Joe Biden passed all those crime bills and everything else. So how in the hell, if a man can be in prison 30 or 40 years for slinging small amounts of dope, how in the hell can a guy sell billions of dollars of dope and only get 18 months? Well, if you're helping the feds do their job, if you're helping them to allegedly catch criminals or maybe blackmail people, then they can make sure that those charges go away. So again, with Diddy, what's interesting to me is I'm wondering what in the hell's going on. I wonder if this is an Epstein scenario. I don't know if y'all saw this, but there was a report that he had all these cameras in different rooms in the house. That in his house, there were all these rooms that had all these cameras. And so my question is, I know you're freaky, but why would you be recording people doing things that they don't want people to know about, doing private things, against their consent? Well, the only thing I could think of is blackmail. I can think of blackmail. You have these very public parties, just like Epstein did. You invite all your celebrity friends because they all want to be around you. And this is where I step in as a finance professor on this conversation. In case y'all wonder why I would be talking about something like this, is number one, I'm a black man, and I'm really curious about anything happening involving black men in the black community. But then number two, this is all about money. This is all about money. Most of the people that wanted to hang out with Diddy hung out with Diddy because he had money. He was the baller. He had money. He hung out with other people that had money. Donald Trump, that's another guy that people have been shocked for many years why he was never in jail. It's the money. And so ultimately anybody that was associated with Diddy throughout the years is going to have to deal with the fact that if you were at a Diddy party and you did some stuff that you didn't want people to know about, there are people that do believe that his house was raided, not to get him on any crime, but to actually get rid of the evidence that he has against other people, to make sure that if they do make him the fall guy, if they do take him down, that he doesn't have the ability to take a whole bunch of other people down with him. And so what does this look like? Nobody, I don't think we really know. I just know that overall we have a situation that's probably more complex than you think. And also it's really important to understand that, you guys know we talk about money all the time on this platform. I'm a finance professor. We've helped millions of people buy stock for the first time, things like that. I wrote my whole dissertation on the stock market. So I'm fully convinced that the stock market is one of the secrets and keys to black wealth. I can show you how to invest in 5 minutes, and I hope that you'll listen to me when I talk to you about it. And one of the things about money is that when you have a whole community with millions of people that are all desperate for their next dollar, desperate for their next opportunity, then those are the people that get sucked in to the Diddy parties and all the other nonsense. Now, if y'all could do me a quick favor, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I want to let everybody know I have a gift for you if you'd like to have it. I have a list of the 5 great stocks you can buy that will cost you less than $10. It's totally free. It's a list of 5 amazing stocks you can buy. I vetted these stocks. I bought 3 out of the 5. I didn't buy all 5, but I like all 5. And here's the link. I'm going to put this link in the chat, and you can just click on that link and get access to that. It's totally free as a gift from the Black Business School. And if you don't see the link, or if you're listening on Spotify, all you have to do is text the word money to 87948. If you text money to 87948, we will send you that list, and it will be yours, and it'll get you started on investing. Don't be scared. You got to invest. The world is changing. AI is everywhere. AI is going to take jobs, and people using AI are also going to take jobs. So you got to learn AI, and you have to invest in AI. So if you also text the word money, I'll send you a list of AI stocks that I like. I'll send you a training on how to make money without working. And I want you, and I really have to say this. I hate having to say this, but I'm not one of these like internet gurus, one of these people that just loves to, get people to sign up for classes so I can just give you a bunch of feel-good stories. My real PhD is in finance. I got it from The Ohio State University. I taught at the University of Kentucky, Syracuse University, etc. I've been teaching this over 30 years. I taught my first college class in 1993 before Biggie dropped his first album, I think. And so I know what I'm talking about. So this is real. You can ask any of the students in our programs how they feel about it, and they will confirm that we are legit in the Black Business School. So feel free, just text the word money to 87948, and I will send you that list of stocks you can buy for under $10. Don't be scared to invest. You must do this for your family. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Now let's get back to Diddy. Okay, so with Diddy, one of the things that is interesting here is I'm really curious to see what's going to happen if that case with that woman reopens. I'm wondering if if she's ever been compensated for what she went through. If you remember what happened back then, I followed hip hop really closely. I've always been a hip hop head and been into hip hop music because I love it, but at the same time I hate the way they destroyed it. And I remember, anybody remember Shine? How many of y'all remember the rapper Shine? He was real good. He kind of sounded like Biggie. We got the bad boy for weeks, bad boys. In the trunk for weeks, bad boys. I can't do my Shine imitation, but he had that real he had that nasally voice. He talk like this, he sounded like he needed to blow his nose, but you couldn't look at that way, But anyway, so Shine was Diddy's great protege after Biggie died, and I think a lot of people liked him because he reminded them of Biggie. And on the night of that shooting, Shine apparently was the guy who took a lot of the blame and the heat for it. He ended up getting deported, and he seems to have he seems to not feel so good about his experience with Diddy and Bad Boy and all that. And this is a sister who got shot in the face, and she still has bullet fragments in her face. Her name's Natanya Rubin. And I think it's very important to remember the individuals that were victims of hip hop, victims of toxic hip hop. Not all hip hop. I'm talking about toxic hip hop, right? This toxic hip hop culture has gotten people killed. It's celebrated the genocide of Black people. It celebrated ignorance and immaturity amongst black men. You got a lot of 50-year-old teenagers out here, 40-year-old teenagers that just embarrass the community. Your men are supposed to be men. They're not supposed to be stupid little punks that run around shooting black women in the face. I don't know about y'all, but I think this is embarrassing. This is not who we're supposed to be. So Diddy apparently is, he was a symbol of a lot of what people aspire to. I still remember that student I knew in Atlanta who told me that the reason she didn't study when she went to college was because she knew that one day Diddy was going to discover her and she was going to go work for Diddy or Jay-Z. And I thank God for her benefit that it never happened, because if she went to work for Diddy, only the Lord knows like what she would have been forced to do to keep her job. And so this is one of the reasons why you don't want to send your little girls out into the world financially desperate. If you send your children out into the world financially desperate, they're gonna have little stupid pipe dreams like that. So the little silly pipe dreams like, oh, I'm gonna go work for Diddy, I'm gonna work for Jay-Z, and they put these people on pedestals and they just admire them like they're gods. And then you get close to God and you find out God ain't nothing but the devil. You find out that this ain't nothing but the Wizard of Oz. You find out that this man that you've admired all your whole life ain't nothing but a weaselly little guy who's going to put his penis in you the first chance he gets. And I'm just going to tell you, I think that if you want your kids to be to step away from this nonsense, you got to do three things. Number one, you got to make sure that they know who they are. A person who doesn't know who they are is going to follow the crowd. They have to have their values sound before they step into that space. Number two, you got to make sure that they're financially secure. A child who is financially secure thus has the ability to say no to opportunities. Give me a yes if you understand. If your child has some money invested and you've taught them how to buy stock and stuff like that. We've taught hundreds of thousands of kids in the Black Business School how to invest. It's not hard. I have a PhD in this stuff. Easy to do. I'll give you a link if you want to take advantage. But if your kid has wealth, then they're not going to feel like they have to take stupid opportunities. They're not going to kiss somebody's butt just to be around famous people. Number three, they're going to, we got to stop the celebrity worship. The celebrity worship in the Black community is absolutely toxic. It's absolutely ignorant. It's about the dumbest shit that we could ever do. We sit around and we look at people that are just as worthless as the doo-doo in your toilet, and just spiritually and psychologically ignorant as hell, self-destructive, all high and drunk all the time, killing their own people. And somehow these aren't the individuals that represent you to the politicians. These are the ones that you look up to. These are the people that you say, oh, I want to be like him. You're such an inspiration. Oh my God, you came to my daughter's school. And I don't want my child looking up to that. I just don't. I want my child looking up to people who are thinkers. I want my child looking up to people who are leaders. I want my child looking up to people who are good. I want my child looking up to people who love men who love Black women who love Black men, people who love Black family, people who care about the community. That's what I want them to look up to. I don't want them looking up to degenerates with degenerates, because STDs are probably everywhere. Nobody talks about the STDs. Isn't that funny? Nobody talks about the spread of STDs in the community and how that's linked to the low level debaucherous culture that is constantly being promoted to us. Seriously, I mean, how often do we ever even talk about that? How often do we talk about the fact that you could throw a rock and hit a Black man that's got HIV in Atlanta? How many of us even bring that up? Is that just something we don't talk about anymore? Did HIV go away? Did it disappear? Or do y'all only focus on the bright, shiny objects? I can just tell you at the end of the day, if you want to elevate, you're going to have to elevate. If you want to elevate, you're going to have to elevate. If you want to elevate, you're going to have to elevate. That means you can't vibrate on that low vibrational frequency of toxic hip hop. All that dancing and partying and killing and getting high and drunk and sleeping with everything that moves and destroying your life. It makes me very sad that these become the heroes and role models of our community. I mean, these are not bad. I'm not saying that all these guys are stupid. They're geniuses in their own ways. But if you look at this picture right here, right, these are 4 Black men. They get a tremendous amount of admiration. You admire these individuals more than you admire your scholars. You admire them more than you admire your nurses. You admire them more than you admire your teachers. You admire them more than you admire your parents. But let's really just process this for a minute. Pharrell is not a bad guy. He's not a dumb guy. But, he does like little fashion brands and wears pink purses when he goes places, which I don't know what all that means. And I don't really know exactly what Pharrell does on a consistent basis that makes him worthy of being put ahead of all the other people that are really doing work for the community. However, Pharrell he might be an exception, though, because I have seen Pharrell speak a good language in terms of acknowledging Black people. So I'm not really going to have too many negative things to say about him, because I'm not trying to be hater of the year, because I don't think Pharrell would fit into that. Kanye, I spent 12 hours on the phone with Kanye last year, and I was not impressed. His arrogance is unbelievable. He's not focused. He needs a therapist and lots of medication, and he wastes a lot of money. He literally ran through billions of dollars, probably over $1 billion of money that could have been used to build schools and businesses in the Black community, but instead he wants statues built of himself because somehow somebody told him that he was more important than Jesus. Well, no, you're not, brother. You ain't that important. You are a Black man just like the rest of us. And the reality is that if you ain't serving your people, you ain't serving nothing. Serving yourself means absolutely nothing to anybody except for you. Diddy, we don't have to talk about Diddy. I think Diddy has always been a guy who runs his mouth a lot. He's always been loud and flashy and almost like clownish in his behavior. He's what I call the Black Peter Pan. The Black Peter Pan is the guy who just simply goes around and dances around like he's 25 years old, even when he's 50, and you never see much development and growth and evolution in him. It's always been dancing, holding liquor bottles, getting ready for the next party, trying to be the cool guy in the room. And the question is, did anybody send you a memo to tell you that it's no longer 1998? 1998 called, and they really need you to grow up and realize that's 98 is the past, brother. It's not 98 anymore. It's 2024. You are old enough to be a grandfather, dude. We're looking for some evolution. Teaching Black men to be more immature than some of us already are is not a benefit to us. Our women need leaders. They need men. They need strong, intelligent men that want to lead the community and make the world a better place. They don't need guys who are holding up liquor bottles, sleeping with everything that moves, and being incredibly irresponsible in our behavior, dancing around like your 12-year-old girl and all this other nonsense. It's silly. It's goofy. So even before all the stuff happened with Diddy, I remember looking at him and saying, oh, yeah, he's just talking. I don't really respect that. I don't respect men who just talk. I respect men who actually do things and get things done and make people's lives better around them. Jay-Z is a mixed bag. I've seen Jay-Z's evolution in a positive way. I spent about 4 hours on the phone with a guy in 2014 who was Beyonce's road manager. And this guy who was Beyonce's road manager, someone introduced him to me because they wanted him to talk to me. He spent all that time trying to convince me that Jay-Z was pro-Black and that Jay-Z cares about the Black community and all this other stuff. And I said, I agree with you. I don't have any problem with what you're saying. However, I need to see that. I need proof. I said, because here's the deal. You can't get mad at ignorant people for being ignorant. An ignorant person, don't get mad at ignorant people in your life, because ignorant people, they're too ignorant to know how ignorant they are. They just don't know. They don't know. So you must forgive them, for they know not what they do. Now, here's the problem I have. Here's what drives me crazy. Here's what I can't stand. While ignorant people, I can forgive ignorant people for being ignorant. What I cannot stand is when an intelligent person pretends to be ignorant so they can fit into what has been falsely defined as Black culture. See, they tell you that your culture is an ignorant culture. They get you thinking that to be a Black man and to be cool and to be hip and to be fly, you got to just be a damn buffoon. You got to be a clown. You can't even be able to spell your mama's name. You got to walk around here, stay high and drunk and kill yourself at an early age. You got to be a horrible father. You got to be as irresponsible as hell. So the world looks at you as a Black man as nothing but a damn child. And so I told him, I said, Jay-Z seems like a smart guy. He's obviously a brilliant lyricist. But I told this guy who I don't remember his name. I think he said he was Beyonce's road manager. I believe him. I said, the problem is not who you are. The issue is what do you present to the world? It doesn't matter. I could be a good person, but if I'm a good person who does terrible things, then I'm a bad person, because you are what you do. You are not what you are. You are what you do. So I said, if Jay-Z is really all about Black people and advancement and all these other things that you say, then why didn't he rap about it? I don't understand that. I don't understand why we will go give white people the best of us and then give Black people the worst of us. While we feel like in order to connect to the Black community, you got to be in the goddamn basement. You got to be as ignorant as hell, backwards, a day late, $1 short, stupid, powerless, weak, blind, deaf, dumb, and just off the rails. I don't get it. I don't understand that. Right. So what did happen after that, and I give Jay a lot of credit, is that he released that song 444. If you remember, 444 was all about economic empowerment, financial literacy, stuff like that. I thought that was great. I thought that was progress. I was not asking him to become a Boyce Watkins. Lord knows nobody wants another one of me. I'm only one of me is enough. But at the same time, I just felt like, come on, man, you have all this power, bro. You could change the freaking world. And yet you're spending all your damn time trying to impress white people at art galleries and punk ass fashion shows and all this other corny stuff that nobody can relate to. why aren't we good enough to get the best of you? Why are we not worthy of that? Why are we not worthy of your attention? Kanye, why are you off doing fashion shows in Paris for millions of dollars, but you somehow don't feel like we're worth your time? I know you got little Japanese kids buying your ugly ass overpriced shoes and those damn Yeezys. They probably cost 25 cents to make or whatever. But still, man, like, this is what happens. You have people outside of your culture that feel like they have the right to shape it. And the way they shape it is they shape it with their money. They use their money and their capital to literally create these super powerful men and women who are, some of whom are just lost and ignorant and destructive. I went to 50 Cent's page, and I was on 50 Cent's Instagram. 50 Cent has a lot more Instagram followers than I'll ever have. I had 500,000. They took down my page, I guess, because I was too radical. And then I got another page, and I have about 100,000, which is not bad, but it's not 50 Cent. 50 Cent has 31 million followers. And I'm sitting here thinking, what is this man doing with all this enormous amount of power? What is he doing? So I go through his content, and every piece of content looks like it was made by a fucking 12-year-old. Everything I see is him toxically attacking his ex, because I guess his ex got named in Diddy's lawsuit as a sex worker or something. So he uses that term, little sex worker, over and over. These little sex workers. And every single post is about the little sex workers, where he's taking stabs at his ex. Now, I want y'all to understand just how immature and fucking pathetic this makes the black man look. It makes us look stupid because here you're sitting on a massive amount of power. You could elevate an entire generation by sharing information that's going to empower them and make their lives better. You could change the freaking world. But because you don't know who you are, and because the white man told you that your job is to be a damn clown, you don't even know where to sit, what throne you're supposed to be in, and how to put on your own damn crown. You don't even know who you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be a king, but for some reason, you love being the court jester. The clown could never be the king, and the black man is relegated to being the clown. That's what we are. It's like, as long as we're entertaining white folks, then we have a place in American society. When we get to the point where we're trying to empower black people, then that's when you get cast out. So I would just say this, and again, I have to be thoughtful because I know that people sometimes hear what I have to say. I don't know if anybody pays attention to me or not. I just don't care. But I would say to him, I'd say, come on, brother, you got 31 million followers. Can we make, like, every other post something that's going to improve their lives? Half of them are slaves to the white man. They got to go to some damn job that they hate every day. They're depressed. Depression and anxiety is at an all-time high. Many of them are diseased because they're copying sloppy ass rappers and their sexual habits and having sex with everything that moves. We got a baby mama, baby daddy problem where black men and black women hate each other and can't even build families. You got mental health crises in the black community. You have people that can't afford to pay the bills. You got people out here whose families are falling apart. You got people out here whose health is deteriorating. And all you can do is sit up there and make jokes about your child's mother, which just speaks to a vibrational frequency that is not worthy of the very best of what our community can possibly be. It's just not, and the biggest challenge you have as a community is that the people that get elevated and celebrated the most are the ones who are least qualified for the position. They don't even understand the gravity of their opportunity. I'm not saying that any of these guys on the screen are like that. Again, with Jay-Z, he's a mixed bag. He's done some good things, although I do think he's being used as a puppet by the NFL. I think he was used by the NFL to replace Colin Kaepernick. So in order to deal with the Colin Kaepernick controversy, they said, let's get a Negro up here that can actually let black people perform, because we love to see black people sing and dance, but we don't want them to have any real power, but we will let him pick people for the Super Bowl halftime show. But if you look beyond that, there's been no other progress in no other significant area in terms of team ownership or any of these things. Because at the end of the day, what Jay-Z really should have been doing, in my opinion, is getting together with his other black celebrity friends and starting a damn sports league. You should have been copying the Ice Cube blueprint, but instead you're just copying the blueprint that's been in existence for 100 years. Black people have always been allowed to entertain. We've always been allowed to sing and dance and make white people smile. That's always been something that we've been allowed to do. We'll always be allowed to do that. There's nothing revolutionary about that. There's nothing interesting about that. It's just a replay of the same old song. So really, at the end of the day, what I'm saying to you is that when I look at the stuff with Diddy, 35 years of dancing and partying and sexing and drugging and literally doing nothing productive for anyone. not even making good music. I mean, the man ain't had a hit since Biggie was alive. It makes me wonder, like, what's all this for? What's all this for? All the while that certain individuals are becoming billionaires, literally reaching billionaire status, you've seen almost no progress in the Black community. Tell me if I'm lying. You have not seen our children get better educated. Our families are not stronger. Our streets are not safer. Our people are not better off. And the same percentage of us still work for white people that worked for white people back in 1993. My question is, what's the progress? So the joke's on you. You know, Diddy did a Halloween thing where he dressed as a Joker one year, and I think that's an appropriate costume. He should probably just keep that costume on all year round. I think that would have been good. In fact, all the rappers need to get a Joker costume, because most of y'all Negroes ain't nothing but a damn joke. I'm not talking about every rapper. I'm not talking about my buddy Killer Mike. I'm not talking about my homeboy D1. I'm not talking about Kendrick Lamar. I'm not talking about my friend Immortal Technique. I'm not talking about guys like that at all. I'm not talking about J. Cole. I'm talking about, but you know who I'm talking about. You know, the Black man, to some extent, unfortunately, in America, is made into a consistent clown. You are the big joker. You're not even the big joker. You're the little joker. That's what you are, because the joke's really on you. And you're always little next to the power of white supremacy and the white male. The white male is the alpha. He makes you into the beta because you never really found out who you are, and you're afraid to even be who you are because the punishment is so severe and you're scared. Anyway, guys, do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. You're watching drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. I have a new book out. It's called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. You guys know I'm a finance professor, and this book is an Amazon bestseller, so thank you guys for supporting it. If you'd like to get a copy of the book, you can go to drboycebooks.com. We run a family business out of our house. We can mail it right to you, so feel free to go to drboycebooks.com. Also, if you want to get started on your pathway to wealth, I have a great training program called Black Money 101. So if you go to blackmoney101.com, it'll get you started on the power of money. We have taught finance all around the world. I just spoke to John Boyd, whose family's group Infinity Song is really doing great around the world, and so I'm thinking I might join them over in Europe. So if you live over in London, I know I want to get back to London at some point soon, and so if you want to take a look at the curriculum in Black Money 101, it's a low cost and it's for the whole family. So feel free to go to blackmoney101.com. Hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. If you have not done this yet, this podcast is on Spotify and Apple. So let's go ahead and just conclude on the Diddy thing. I'm not going to keep on belaboring this point. I might go back and address Diddy again at some point if there is a development, but I will say that from a financial standpoint, what I see as a finance academic is a couple of things. Number one, all these problems are gonna really hit Diddy in the wallet. One of the things that has to occur is that when you have wealth, you have to protect it, and one way that you protect it is with your behavior. You have to be careful with who you're around and what you do when you're around those people. I don't know if Diddy was that careful. I really don't get that sense. So the lawsuits are going to come in like an avalanche, and I'm really curious to see how he's going to protect his family legacy. The other area where money matters when it comes to Diddy is that Diddy was a person that was able to use his money as a magnet. He became the shit. And flies get attracted to shit. So people wanted to fly, they were attracted to him like flies on shit because he had all this money. And what happens, similar to Jeffrey Epstein, is that when a person has lots of money, we tend to trust them. We want to be around them. Women want to have sex with them. Some men want to have sex with them. And unfortunately, some of these people with money are using the money to lure you into situations that are not going to be beneficial to you. Also, I'm going to say this, that similar to Epstein, I admit I'm very curious as to why Diddy has never been charged with any crimes. Some people may say that it's because he didn't do anything. I think that you might be a bit delusional. I think that Diddy has always been under suspicion for a very long time. And the biggest question people always had is, how does he keep dodging consequences? How does he keep getting out of stuff? And I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't be surprised. Just know that the CIA, FBI, and all these federal agencies are very, very slick with how they move. There are lots of people who could be in jail, could be dealing with problems from the government or whatever, where their problems miraculously go away if they start playing the political game. if they start running out doing voter die campaigns and stuff like that, and they corral the black community to do what they want black people to do, then what they do is they return the favor in a quid pro quo style fashion and say, okay, we'll make sure that you never get any problems on this particular issue if you help us solve this problem over here. So ultimately, do I think something sinister is going on? The answer is absolutely yes. Do I believe that there's some sort of conspiracy related to Diddy? The answer is absolutely yes. The question is, what is the conspiracy? I don't know what it is, but I think for those of you that believe that the conspiracy is that they just want to bring a great black man down, I think you're wrong on that, because Diddy was never a great black man. Diddy was just a loud black man. He was never a great black man. He was just a black man that danced a lot. Diddy was never a great black man. He was just a black man that white people put on TV. And what you all do is you make the mistake of thinking that a black man is great because white people put him on TV. And so what they do to play with your head is they will take the loudest, most buffoonish, most backward thinking Negro, and they will put him on TV, make him world famous, give him a bunch of money, and you will think that that person is your leader. And I will just say to you that you have to stop doing that. We cannot look at some Negro on TV and say, you're my leader, just like a 3-year-old who looks at every man that walks through his mama's door and says, are you my daddy? Are you my daddy? Are you my daddy? No, that's not, no, that none of those men are your daddy. Right. So none of these people are your leaders. None of them are your leaders. And the reality is, as much as it may sound like I'm being hard on Jay-Z or Diddy and these other guys, I don't want to be hard on them, because the truth is they didn't ask to be your leaders. They didn't ask to be black leaders per se. Diddy did position himself as some sort of a political leader, but if you were smart, you didn't let Diddy decide who you're going to vote for. You decide who you're going to vote for. So this idea that the politicians want to meet with the rappers and they don't want to talk to the scholars, they don't want to talk to the thinkers, they don't want to talk to the political scientists, they don't want to talk to the teachers, they don't want to talk to the activists, they don't want to talk to the parents, but they'll talk to the damn rapper. That right there tells you how little they think of you. That tells you how little they respect you. That tells you how much they can't stand your raggedy black ass, because somehow you have been led to believe that somehow somebody is supposed to be a black leader because they made a damn song. That's ridiculous. So at the very least, whether you agree with me or not, I hope that we can walk away from this conversation at least agreeing that a black leader should not be a black leader just because he made a great rap song. That is absolutely the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen in my life. That makes us backward, boo-boo the fool. And if we think that way, if we continue to operate that way, then I can only say that we deserve everything we get. I believe you deserve better than that, though. And so I want to thank you all for at least lending me your ear and hearing what I have to say, because I know that I say a lot and I know that I'm a lot to absorb. So if I say something you disagree with, then just forgive me for that, and let's write that off and let's continue to be friends. So God bless you. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys have a great day. Just a reminder, if you want to see real black leaders, every year we gather for the All Black National Convention in Atlanta. If you'd like to join us, we're going to be October 25th to the 27th in Chicago, Illinois. If you'd like, it's outside of Chicago, actually, in a city called Lombard, Illinois. So it's a suburb of Chicago. If you'd like to join us, just go to allblacknationalconvention.com, and it's going to be really awesome. It's always fun, and we always bring experts. We bring the leading experts in the black community in every area, from health to wealth to relationships and beyond, to the convention. The rapper Killer Mike and David Banner, they joined us at the first convention. D1 has come to several conventions. We have billionaire Mike Roberts, the chairman of the Jordan brand, Larry Miller, lots of amazing people. So we'd love to have you as well. So just go to allblacknationalconvention.com. It's October 25th through the 27th. Also, I'm going to be in Los Angeles on April 19th for the Stock Options Summit. So if you want to learn about stock options and learn about investing, just go to stockoptionssummit.com. We're going to be in LA. Get on an airplane, come hang out with us. I will teach you everything I know about investing. And here's the deal. When I show you how to manage your finances at a high level, my PhDs in this stuff, then you can put yourself in a position very easily where your kids will never be desperate for money and end up having to become one of Diddy's little toys in order for them to pay the bills. Young people who are not financially desperate are able to make ethical decisions. Those who are desperate end up having to compromise. I don't want you or your family to have to compromise. I want you and your family to be free. I want you and your family to be strong. So remember, black power is economic power. Black money is black power. If you have no black money, then you cannot have black power, because in a capitalist society, money controls everything. So keep that in mind. God bless you. Thank you so much for listening. And also, last but not least, we do financial consciousness training every morning at 10 a.m. If you'd like to join us for financial consciousness training, just text the word morning to 87948. We call it Money Mindset in the Morning with Dr. Boyce Watkins. I do this every single morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 days a week. We're going to do it tomorrow, even on Easter Sunday. So if you want to join us every morning and elevate your financial consciousness, vibrate on a high frequency, I will get you there. I promise. Just text the word morning to 87948 and bring your whole family. I got you. Take care, everybody. God bless you. Thank you so much for for listening to me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to co-sign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.